Beyonce is the top earning woman in music. She makes around $105 million, or at least she did last year. So along with all those riches, fame also brings bizarre allegations, like the lady who went to court accusing Beyonce of practicing extreme witchcraft.
Beyonce sure can cast a spell with her performances. But is she also practicing witchcraft? In head-scratching court papers, Kimberly Thompson, a former drummer for the singer's all-girl band, is accusing Beyonce of, get this, extreme witchcraft and magic spells and the murder of my pet cat. She's actually filed a restraining order against the star. Sounds kooky, right? And that's probably why a judge immediately denied Thompson's request for a restraining order. There's always been whispers that Beyonce belongs to some kind of secret society. They point to hand signals like this as an example of her communicating cryptic messages. But the accusations of witchcraft take things to a whole new strange level.
Beyonce is expanding her real estate empire.
Praise the Lord.
Yes, actually, that is appropriate. By the way, I don't think you get to say that.
You saying it sounds kind of awkward.
Why can't I
know Bishop Curry was here and he blessed you and everything.
Why can't I say that?
It just...
there was nothing wrong with
you
that.
You just messed up all my blessings today.
Yes, we're saying this because Beyonce now owns a church. She bought a very, very old church in New Orleans.
Beautiful that is. It's an abandoned church. I can't believe that's abandoned. That is a beautiful building.
It is more than 100 years old.
Oh God, wouldn't that be awesome to make a house out of that? I'm serious.
What part of New Orleans?
I don't think they're
house from a church.
Absolutely, I don't think it's an abandoned church, Raquel. I don't think they're going to make that a church again.
Well, guess what? Over 900. They had Beyonce Mass Day, this past Sunday, and over 900 people showed up.
Maybe so.
What? Wait, where Beyonce Mass Day? What?
Well, let's talk about the church.
Yeah, I want to talk about the church, but then she just brought up Beyonce Mass Day. I don't know
We're going to get into a whole
No,
thing.
they had it in San Francisco, Beyonce Mass Day.
We're going to get into a whole thing.
All right, let's get to the church that she bought,
So the church was listed for like, I think, $800,000?
$850, yep.
And God, what a beautiful building. I mean, it's interesting because, you know, there are like abandoned firehouses and whatnot that people, like in New York, this is a big thing, where they end up buying them and rehabbing them, and then all of a sudden they turn them into homes. So that is such a beautiful...
So she bought this, the church was essentially abandoned. How old it is, it was built in the early 1900s. They said that basically all of the church members had passed away and nobody was using it.
And by the way, I think this is her second church that she bought in New Orleans, I believe. Anywho, congratulations, Beyonce. Praise the Lord.
Oh, don't say it.
For those in the bondage of racism, we need freedom.
I'm at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, California. Hundreds of folks are going to come here to witness the Beyonce Mass, bringing together secular music and a religious message to tell a story of empowerment for particularly women of color, but for anyone who happens to sing praises to the goddess herself, Beyonce. Here we go.
Y'all, I'm out of breath because we sang Beyonce in church. Holy cow.
We do have a community that is youthful and loving and looks to the world as a partner, not an enemy. So if that's new to you, I hope it's good news. God actually loves you.
What can you tell me about the progressive nature of Grace Cathedral?
I think a lot of the people who show up tonight are people of color, LGBT people, people on whom other people's narratives have been projected. And I mean, just to be honest, the church hasn't been the best about lifting up those voices. It really began as us saying, how can we actually be the people of God that we hope to be in the world?
And Beyonce is the perfect passage to get that message out there.
Honestly, I think Beyonce is a better theologian than many of the pastors and priests in our church today. That is not an exaggeration.
According to a recent Gallup poll, Catholic church attendance has gone down nearly 40% since the 1950s. But tonight's Beyonce Mass is set to draw crowds in the hundreds. And though I don't consider Beyonce to be a religious symbol, like some of her most ardent fans, There's no denying her strong use of religious symbolism throughout her music and performances, paying homage to everything from female African deities, the Last Supper, Black Madonna, and the Virgin Mary herself. I spoke with Reverend Yolanda Norton, Beyonce fan and organizer of the event, to find out where the idea came from to mix Beyonce with the Bible.
The event was born out of a class that I teach called Beyonce in the Hebrew Bible. So I walked them through this process of thinking about how the music of Beyonce helped us have conversations about Black women and how we worship and our spirituality.
So talk me through how you analyze a song like Flaws and All for your students.
She has this ambiguous audience, right, in the song. Maybe it's Jay-Z, maybe it's her fans. But I love it when she says, you know, I'm a train wreck.
I'm a train wreck in the morning. I'm a bitch in the afternoon.
Right?
I'm a bitch in the afternoon.
Every now and then, without warning, I can be really mean to you.
Right.
I can be really mean toward you.
So what we do in the worship services, we make that about a conversation that we would have with God. So if you imagine that as a prayer to God, how many...
I don't know why you love me.
And that's why I love you, right? I neglect you when I'm working. Yep, we all do that, right? So it's really about naming Black female spirituality is embodied in that song.
The Lord be with you.
Also with you.
Lift up your hearts.
Lift them up to the Lord.
We live in a world where a mostly male church debates whether or not women should be ordained, but Jesus chose Mary of Nazareth, a woman of color, and another woman of color, Mary of Magdala, to be the prophet of the resurrection. So what is very clear to me is that God is a lot more comfortable in trusting his power and authority to women of color than the church is.
I've been asked time and time again, why Beyonce? I believe that she reminds us that sometimes you have to do your thing your way. You don't do it on demand. You don't do it for your oppressor. You don't sing when they want you to sing. You sing when God tells you to sing. Never give them your song. Beyonce didn't become Beyonce on her own. I'm not standing in front of you because of anything that I've done. I'm here because of the Mary Nortons of the world, the Daisy Washingtons of the world. These are women whose names you'll never know, but Black women who fought to their core to make sure that there was a better tomorrow for those who could stand in front of you and say, as a Black woman, I am created in the image of God, and I am here to change the game and make the world a better place.
So it turns out Beyonce is a witch.
What? Knew it.
Allegedly. Beyonce's former drummer Kimberly Thompson claimed that Beyonce has been practicing, quote, extreme witchcraft and dark magic on her. The Blast reported Thompson worked for Beyonce for 7 years, and she's now trying to get a restraining order against the superstar who she claims is using spells to control her finances, tap her phones, and kill her kitten. But it gets weirder. The restraining order also says that Bey casted magic spells of sexual molestation on Thompson.
Wait, hold on. Stop.
Thompson's request was denied by a judge, and at this time it's unclear why Thompson thinks Beyonce is to blame for these things going on in her life. As of this recording, Kimberly has spoken to us exclusively, saying, quote, the documents were filed in confidentiality of the courthouse here in Los Angeles. These incidents that I have survived are real and did in fact happen. I'm very disappointed at the exploitation of whoever released my private documents from the courthouse to the Blast, and I have received several abusive messages and hateful threats from her fans on top of the abuse that I am currently trying to heal from her and others she worked with to harm me.
When I performed Crazy in Love at the BET Awards, it was almost like my coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my girl, Beyonce!
I was very nervous,
So crazy right now.
of course.
Most incredible.
And I remember when they told me I was performing on BET, in my mind, I saw the set immediately. I said, I want something big. I want something that says I'm here. Beyonce. And I drew it out. I drew out the ramp. I drew out the boxes for me and my girls. I drew out the lift right in the O. It just so happened that O was right in the center of my name for me to come down. I knew the dance. I knew about the pumps. I saw all of that in my head before it happened. And it's great when you visualize something and it actually comes to life.
Come on! One more time!
When I talk to my friends so quietly, who we can be? Look at what you do for me. Tennis shoes don't even need to buy a new dress. If you ain't there, ain't nobody else to impress. It was way better than I expected, and Sasha was in full effect. Sasha is my alter ego. And when people see me, sometimes I think that when they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha. And I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage, so Sasha comes out, and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me. And I knew that was gonna be my coming out night for the BET Awards.
Looking so crazy, your love's got me looking so crazy.